Well, guys, this ain't going to be a controversial topic at all, but who gives a shit? Because we're going to talk about it because fuck it, I want to talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel once again. I am Robert Storms. If you're finding me for the very first time, if you're a long-time viewer, not yet a subscriber, please go ahead and click that like and subscribe button. So guys, I want to talk about this topic because I have a lot to say about this topic. You know, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, according to Deadline right now, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is looking to get a remake starring Will Smith and Kevin Hart. And I kind of want to talk about this because I'm a massive fan of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Like, I'm a massive fan. It is my favorite Steve Martin movie. I love John Candy, and I really do not want to see this remade. And just kind of follow me along here, because I want you guys, because I know automatically people are going to be like, oh, you're racist because they're casting two black actors. You know, you're being racist. And that's not the case, and I kind of want to explain myself to you guys. I don't think it needs to be remade. Okay, let's say hypothetically, instead of Will Smith and Kevin Hart here, they casted Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill, okay? And they still wanted to do a Planes, Trains, and Automobiles remake with two white people like Jonah Hill and Seth Rogen. It doesn't need to be remade, okay? I don't care if you're white, black, Hispanic, Chinese, Vietnamese, Namekian, ET, I don't give a shit. I don't think the movie needs to be remade. Here's the thing. Remakes usually happen because it's a very popular IP or the movie sucks, so studios wants to either capitalize on that IP, try something new, maybe like gender swap or race swap the characters and try something new because it's a very popular IP and they know that they're going to get a certain amount of money due to the name recognition. Or some cases the movie just sucks, so they want to remake it and hopefully make a better version of that movie. And then other movies just kind of get remade throughout time because it's sort of like a tradition that this movie gets remade over and over and over again. So there's different reasons why movies get remade. Here's my thing with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. One, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, it doesn't suck. The movie's phenomenal. The movie doesn't suck, so you don't need to remake it because it sucks. Another thing about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is, although it's a great movie, it's not a giant franchise. It's not a big IP. So you're not going to make a Planes, Trains, and Automobiles movie and you're going to get like 500 million people or $500 million in box office revenue due to name recognition. You know, they did that with Ghostbusters. They gender swapped the entire Ghostbusters because they thought the name Ghostbusters was enough to bring people in. And they're like, hey, while we're at it, let's go ahead and gender swap and we're going to call it Ghostbusters. And they figured that was going to bring people in. But nothing, it just pissed off the hardcore fans of Ghostbusters. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was a one-time movie. It didn't have sequels. It wasn't a franchise. So the name recognition, you're a much older person if you've seen the original Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. No young kid, I'm willing to guess, not a lot of young people have seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, sadly, so you're not going to bring in a younger generation. You could argue the fact by casting Will Smith and Kevin Hart, they're looking to bring a younger audience in to see Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Here's my thing with this is, call it something different. Call it something different. You could remake the same exact movie. You could have the same plot, man trying to get home to his family for Thanksgiving. You could even change that a little bit. Like maybe make it Christmas. Man trying to get home to his family for Christmas. But if you wanted to keep the same plot points, man trying to get home to his family on Thanksgiving, he runs into this one guy, and this guy is pretty much nothing but trouble. Then you find out at the end that he lost his wife. You can keep everything exactly the same as in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but you could call it something different. You can call it something different. A lot of these remakes, I see where they wanted to remake The Great Outdoors. You could do the same premise and call it something different. Again, I don't care if it's Will Smith, Kevin Hart, or Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill. White, black makes little difference to me. I'm talking about the movie itself. I'm talking about the film, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Because you can make that movie with the same premise and call it something different. Look at Fast and the Furious. You guys might not know this, but Fast and the Furious is basically a Point Break remake. It's almost the exact plot, point for point. But did they call it Point Break the remake? No. They did that many years later, and it fucking sucked. But Fast and the Furious was a good Point Break remake, but it was called something different. It was called Fast and the Furious. You could do Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with Will Smith and Kevin Hart. You can call it something different. You can name it something completely different, because with a movie with this star power, the planes, trains, and automobile part of this story is not what's going to get butts and seats. It's these two guys right here, Kevin Hart, Will Smith. That's what's getting your butt in the seats. Not the title, not the IP of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Again, if you would remake this movie with Seth Rogen or Jonah Hill, again, they're what's going to be putting the butts in the seats, not the title, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. You might be able to bring in a young generation with Kevin Hart and Will Smith, and maybe you might get a few old people who are like, hey, I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Let me go see it. But it's not going to pull in the amount of audience. That movie, the title alone, is not going to pull in as big audience as you think. The IP is just not there. This works for franchises. That's why we see franchises do this all the time. That's why we get so many horror movie remakes and stuff like that, because the name recognition will bring in certain people because people know that name. There's a reason why people are trying to get those licenses for those movies. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a movie that should stand alone, should stand the test of time by itself, and doesn't need to be remade or have a gender swap or have a race swap or even have different actors altogether. It happened. It was a fantastic movie. Leave it alone. Create the same story. Have the heart and feel of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but call it something different. Call On My Way Home for Thanksgiving. I don't know. I'm not good with titles. I don't work in Hollywood, but I know you guys can call it something different. It can be a Planes, Trains, and Automobile remake without going so hardcore for the title. That's my opinion on it. It might not be a popular opinion. Again, you guys can call me racist. You call me whatever you want. I'm not looking at it as a term of racist. That's why I kept throwing in the different examples between white and black people. It doesn't matter who you throw in. I'm going to have the same argument regardless. So if you want to look at race and you want to brand me something, that's fine. Come brand me whatever you want. I'm giving you my honest opinion on it, and I'm telling you this happens too much in Hollywood, and it needs to stop, and they need to start coming up with better ideas. You can do the same movie, call it something different. It's not going to change anything at the box office. The title is not going to generate, that IP is not going to generate $1 billion. It's just not. Okay, you're selling this movie on the star power of Will Smith and Kevin Hart. Do I like the idea of these two coming in and bringing out a movie that's inspired by Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? Like, they came out and said, we're doing something that's very inspired by Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Then I'm like, yes, call it something different. You don't have to call it Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So, anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on it. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Be sure to leave those comments in the comment box below. Once again, guys, hit that like button. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want more exclusive content like my review of Transformers War for Cybertron, that is for exclusive members only. Hit the join button. Pick a tier that best suits you and become a member. Until next time, everybody, as always, I am Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.